Konnichiwa and welcome to Zwift number 43. This is Zwift Crit Racing Club race, around 3 laps around the fan flats. 15 people signed up. It's a Sunday ride. This race is 19.4 kilometers and 83 meters of inclines. So out we go out the pen. Because there was only 15 people signed up, I was going to get a good position in the pen anyway. Very conscious of just keeping with the front riders as we start off over the first few 100 meters. Not really too concerned about the slight gap that you can see there. I'm confident that I'm able to pull it back. It was a nice gentle start. You can see average watts around the 230. So yeah, like I said, is it showing up 16 riders there? Oh yeah, and I can remember why now, and that's something that we'll chat about a little bit later. So currently 11th out of 16, now showing up as 13 in the front group. So a few riders have dropped off already, but hoping for a nice, smooth, flattish ride with only 83 meters of incline. And there's no huge hills anywhere. It's just a steady climb back towards the finish line on the second half of the loop. So we're still on the lead in to the circuits, and you'll see the circuit that we're going to have to manoeuvre around. I'm in 13th place. You can see that a rider is already 35 seconds behind. Average watts has dropped off considerably. That's 210, which is quite low for me. I haven't identified myself. If you haven't watched any of these videos on Danny Skids YouTube videos, I'm in the blue Swedish Zwift racing team blue outfit. As we go past the first monument, it starts to flatten off in a bit, and we've got a U-turn at the far end of this circuit before we head back towards the start-finish line. So at this point, just before we have 3 laps to finish, you can see that in the white and yellow kit out in front, we've got H. Karoguchi, who's just pushing the pace along. He's opened up second lead. We're all stretched out now, pretty much in single file as people start to chase him down. And I find myself slightly struggling a little bit, but hoping that I can stay in touch with this front group. So let's see how this pans out. You can see that Karoguchi has got 2 seconds over me here now, and Benjamin Wenner is in hot pursuit of him, and we're all stretched out as we come to go through this sprint for the first time, which takes us over the start-finish line. So I made a surprising good effort at going through the sprint, and I came through in second place. There you can see it there, it's just popped up a few seconds ago. And we're all stretched out again, but Karoguchi had a failed attempt on that occasion of trying to break away from the rest of the group. So there's still 13 riders in there, and the next rider back is over a minute behind us. So let's see how these 13 riders go. So this is a point on the circuit where we're heading just gradually downhill. Well, it's flat at the moment, but it does become slightly downhill in a minute or two. There we go, -1 degree. And everyone getting a notification that I also play Golf Clash, because that popped up. You also get another message in a minute about me asking to cut somebody's grass for them. But apart from all those side issues with notifications popping up on the iPad, there's still 13 riders there. Pace is increased. You can see the average watts is 221. We're going downhill now. So that's probably why you see me in a more prominent position as we take this left-hand turn, because my um, over average weight will help me on the downhills. But then as we turn that next left turn, it's 2%, 3% now up the incline, all the way up towards the monument. So there's a bit of a drag here, and you've got to put down a fair bit of power to stay in touch with everybody. But I'm always conscious of being able to have to do that. But you can see that we're all in single file. There's numerous riders out in front, like Northway Frank and Benjamin Wenner, who I've already mentioned. He seemed to spend quite a bit of time close to the front. You can see John Titterington just came past me there. And yeah, as we climb up the hill, here's the monument in the distance there. You can see that I'm quite far back again in the group. And you'll see that H. Kawaguchi has made another push out the front and has in fact got a 2-second lead. And it doesn't appear that anybody's going to be going with him, which is concerning. Sometimes you can see somebody else push along, but we're all still bunched up, which gives the impression that no one's making a real strong effort to try and catch hold of him. Michael Kahn at the moment is the one person in the red with the white hat who's making an effort out in the front, but it doesn't appear that we are pushing much more weight, much more watts than we would normally. And now by this point, you can see that he's got Kawaguchi's got a 7-second lead. So it looks like he's made a concerted effort to go for the win here now at this point. Let's see how this develops. So 2 laps to go. Kawaguchi's got a 12-second lead. It's extending all the time, so this is a real concern if any of these riders are going to go for the win. And it didn't appear that anybody was going to be chasing him down. Our watts are quite high, but you know he's up to 14 seconds now, and it just seems to be he seems to be able to extend that lead that he's got over 12 of the riders who are pushing on strong. So he's doing really well. So heading back down the hill, and I've got a prominent position again. Kawaguchi's 13 seconds out in front. We've got 8.7 kilometers to go. We've also got around 40 meters of incline, which is absolutely nothing really in any of these Zwift rides. But what I have noticed is Kawaguchi's lead is getting pulled back gently. So I do think that the riders are putting in a little bit more effort here now. You can see the average watts. Sorry, my watts at every second is higher than my average watts. So that seems to be a real positive. So let's see how this time gap to Kawaguchi goes, because potentially if we're going to be pulling him back in, we need to see that time coming down with only 7 kilometers to go. So as we take that left-hand turn, and I'm in a nice prominent position, Benjamin Wenner at the front, and we've got Kawaguchi just 11 seconds ahead now, and now it's down to 10. And as we climb up this hill, you can see that it drops down to 9, so it's dropping really quickly at this point, and it looks like we're going to try and catch hold of him. And you can also see that Michael Coyle is making a real effort to catch hold of him. But as quickly as I say all that, it all becomes a little bit confusing because Kawaguchi's name has disappeared completely. I'm back in ninth position there. I've been passed by numerous riders at this point, but I make an extra effort towards the top of the hill so that I can potentially see where Kawaguchi's gone. But it appears that at this point that he's actually left the race, which was a real pain because we were all putting in an extra effort to try and catch hold of him. But you'll see that other people start commenting about it. People suggest that he must have quit. So yeah, bit annoying when that happens because he had a good lead, and don't know, was he a time waster? I don't know. I don't know what happened really. I suggested that now that we'd not have to, now that we wouldn't have to catch him, could we slow down? But that didn't appear to materialise really. We are now down to 12 riders, I think, at the front, with 5.7 kilometres to go. We're just about to go around the U-turn at the top of the circuit before heading down the sprint for one final lap on the fan flats. So as we go around that U-turn before the sprint, North Wave Frank makes a dart for it. Is he just attempting to do the sprint at a really quick pace, or is this his final 5 kilometres of the race at a more intense pace? So only time will tell whether he will sustain this, and let's see how this develops. But you can see I'm back in 11th position, so we are down to 11 riders in this front group. And we're really stretched out. You can see North Wave Frank is still out in front, and people are trying to chase him down. One of those is Michael Kahn. There's quite a few Michaels in this race for some reason. Seems to be a popular name. But I push through here as we start to drop down a little hill before turning right and going up a slight incline. I'm now in second place, and I appear to be the one who's trying to catch up with North Wave Frank, who's got a 4-second lead. Yeah, so let's see how this goes now. But we're pushing hard. It's a good hard race, but I'm feeling reasonably strong. Heart rate is high though, so I'll be trying to get that to drop down during this flatter section around the back of the course before we head up the hills towards the monument. I call it the hills, it's an incline. We head up the incline towards the monument and the last few kilometres of the race. So also what we need to take note of is Michael Coyle making a dart for it to try and catch hold of North Wave Frank. So you can see that North Wave Frank out in front and Michael Coyle's a few seconds behind as we drop down the hill before the left hand turns up the hill. So this group of around 10 riders are putting in the effort. The watts are up over the 250 mark. North Wave Frank's lead is down to 7 seconds, but he has been joined by Michael Coyle, who's out in the front with him. But then there's the rest of us just behind. But I'm conscious that I'm going to work hard up this hill. You can see my heart rate at 165 is really high and on the edge of where I want it to be. But at least I'm in a really good position as we enter the last 1.5 kilometres. North Wave Frank, it now says, has got a 14-second lead, so they've really extended that quickly, and it doesn't appear that any of us are going to be able to catch hold of those two out in front. Michael Coyle and Northway Frank, got a 12-second lead here. So let's see how that materialises as we go down this flatter section before the U-turn and then the final sprint of the race. So 0.99 kilometres left, less than a kilometre to go, and from 14 seconds we're now down to 9 seconds. So we're putting in a real strong effort here. I'm able to maintain a place with the rest of the group. You can see now that their lead is down to 7 seconds, so the gap is coming down really quickly. Now down to 4 seconds, and I'm thinking that we're actually going to catch them. This gap closed really, really quickly. But was that because they were saving their energy for the sprint, and we were pushing hard and not having much of a sprint left? But at this point, I was able to put in a good, powerful finish. And actually ended up crossing the line in 7th place. So if we analyse that now with the top 10, I was really pleased with how I finished. Top 7 finish for me. Here we go. Northway Frank first over the line in 31 minutes and 23 seconds. Average watts of 3. Then Michael Coyle second over the line, just a second behind, still also averaging 3 watts per kilogram. Then S Muscle was third. Andrew Brennan fourth. Michael Kahn fifth. Michael Dries sixth. Then we had next over the line was myself in 7th position, averaging 2.6 watts. Then we had JD Pfeiffer in 8th position, followed by Benjamin Wenner in 9th. John Titterington came in a really good 10th position and still only 6 seconds. So a real tight finish to the race. Reasonably happy with my 2.6 watts. I would be extremely happy if I was doing 2.7 and ecstatic if I got 2.8 watts. My weight at the moment since the Christmas period is slowly coming down. I fluctuate between 91 and 93 kilograms from a Monday through to a Sunday. Sundays are always the higher weights after a nice heavy weekend, an enjoyable weekend, and during the week I will lessen my weight. But there it is, a really enjoyable ride. Not many people in that race, but pleased with the 7th finish. And my ZRS went up to 323 after that race. So please subscribe. I know it's just a short video with not many riders, but hopefully some people will watch it. We're close to 100 subscribers now, which is pleasing, and I always get nice feedback. So catch you again soon. I am putting out another video very shortly in regards to stage 2 after party neon after party. So that'll be hopefully out later on tonight if I can get around to it.